Tae-hyun stood in the giant hall and looked around at all the other humans. There were hundreds of them. Everyone wore the same gray uniform with the Earth symbol on the shoulder. The room was so big that his voice would echo if he spoke too loud. Giant screens covered the walls, showing alien worlds and strange creatures from across the galaxy. It was the year 2287. Humans had only met aliens 5 years ago. Now Earth was part of something called the Galactic Coalition. It was like a club for all the planets and species in space, but joining the club came with rules. Every human who wanted to work in space had to spend 3 years with an alien partner. 3 years of living together, working together, and learning about each other. Tae-hyun was 24 years old. He had studied alien biology at the academy. He loved learning about different species and how they lived. But now he was nervous. Very nervous. His hands felt cold and his stomach hurt. Next to him stood his best friend, Woo Jin. They had grown up in the same neighborhood in Seoul. Woo Jin was tall and always smiled. He bounced on his feet, excited. "This is amazing," Woo Jin whispered. "We are going to see the galaxy. Real aliens." Tae-hyun. Real aliens. Tae-hyun tried to smile back. "Yeah, amazing." The truth was that Tae-hyun was scared. He had read all the reports. Some aliens were nice. Some aliens were not nice. And the matching system was supposed to be random. You could not choose your partner. The computer algorithm decided everything. A voice boomed through the hall. It came from a tall alien standing on the stage. The alien had 6 arms and purple skin. Its face looked like an octopus. This was Kolvar, the Galactic Coordinator for Earth. "Welcome, humans," Kolvar's voice came through a translator device. "Today you begin your journey. The algorithm has matched each of you with a partner species. These partnerships are binding for 3 years. You cannot break them early except in cases of severe danger." The screens lit up. One by one, names appeared. Human names on the left. Alien names on the right. Photos of both appeared on the big screen for everyone to see. Tae-hyun watched as his classmates got their assignments. A girl named Hae-jin got paired with a Vortani scientist. The Vortani looked like a floating jellyfish made of light. They were known for being peaceful and smart. Hae-jin smiled and waved at the screen. Woo-jin's name came up next. His partner was a Quellan merchant. The Quellan looked like a large furry bear with 6 eyes. They were friendly and loved to trade. Woo-jin laughed and pumped his fist in the air. "Yes, I am going to see so many planets," Woo-jin said. Even Dong-min, who was shy and barely talked to anyone, got a good match. His partner was a Pelixian curator. The Pelixian looked like a small blue bird. They worked in museums and libraries. It was a calm, quiet job. Perfect for Dong-min. Then Tae-hyun's name appeared on the screen. Everything changed. The hall went completely silent. Every single person stopped talking. Even Kolvar on the stage made a strange choking sound. On the screen, next to Tae-hyun's photo, was his partner. The name read, Sentinel Unit KX-9. Designated, Revan. Below that, one word, Kethran. The image showed a massive creature. It stood on 2 legs, but had 4 arms. Its body was covered in black armor that looked like insect shell. Sharp claws extended from each hand. Its face had huge glowing amber eyes and mandibles like a giant ant. The creature was at least 3 meters tall, maybe more. Tae-hyun felt his blood turn to ice. Everyone in the galaxy knew about Kethrans. They were the scariest warriors in space. Born fighters. Bred for battle. A single Kethran sentinel could destroy an entire squad of soldiers. They had never lost a war. Never. And they never, ever took partners. "There must be a mistake," Kolvar said into his microphone. His 6 arms waved frantically. "The algorithm is wrong. Kethran sentinels do not accept partnerships. They work alone. Always alone. This cannot be correct." But the screen did not change. The computer had made its choice. Galactic law, said the matches were final. No changes allowed. People started whispering. Some pointed at Taehyun. Others looked away, like they felt sorry for him. Woojin put a hand on his shoulder. Taehyun, maybe they will fix it. Maybe. The match is final, Kolvar announced, though he sounded unhappy about it. Coalition law is clear. Taehyun Kim will report to Outpost Vega 7 inches 3 days to meet his assigned partner. The coordinator looked directly at Taehyun. Even from far away, Taehyun could see the worry in his alien eyes. I am sorry, young human. I will file a complaint with the Central Algorithm Committee, but until they respond, you must follow the assignment. The ceremony continued. More names appeared, more happy matches. But Taehyun did not pay attention anymore. His brain felt frozen. 3 days. In 3 days, he had to meet a creature that every species feared. A warrior who killed for a living. After the ceremony ended, people avoided him. They whispered as he walked past. Even his instructors looked at him with sad expressions. One teacher, an old woman named Mrs. Park, pulled him aside. Taehyun, listen to me, she said quietly. Kethrans are dangerous, yes. But they follow rules. They have honor. Do not show fear. Do not show weakness. If you act scared, they will not respect you. I am scared, Taehyun admitted. I know, but do not show it. That night, Taehyun could not sleep. He lay in his small room at the academy and stared at the ceiling. His tablet sat next to him, showing every file he could find about Kethrans. The information was terrible. Kethrans communicated through clicking sounds and vibrations. They saw most species as weak and worthless. Their society was built entirely around combat. Children trained to fight from age 3. Adults served in the military until they died. There were no artists, no musicians, no poets in Kethran culture. Only warriors. The worst part? No Kethran Sentinel had ever completed a partnership assignment successfully. Most partners requested emergency extraction within the first month. 3 humans had tried before. 1 quit after 2 weeks. 1 ended up in the hospital after a training accident. The 3rd one never spoke about what happened. He just went home and never left Earth again. Taehyun pulled up a video file. It showed a Kethran Sentinel in battle. The creature moved so fast it was just a blur. Its 4 arms wielded weapons with perfect skill. In 30 seconds, it destroyed 5 combat robots that were supposed to be indestructible. I am going to die, Taehyun whispered to the empty room. But then he thought about something. All his life, people had underestimated him. In school, he was the small kid. The quiet one. Everyone thought he would fail. But he did not fail. He worked harder than everyone else. He learned more. He became a xenobiologist when everyone said he should study combat or engineering. Maybe everyone was wrong about this too. Maybe, just maybe, the algorithm saw something that others could not see. Or maybe he really was going to die in 3 days. Taehyun closed his eyes and tried to sleep. Tomorrow, he would start preparing. He would read everything about Kethrans. He would learn their language. He would understand their culture. If he was going to meet a deadly alien sentinel, he would not go in blind. 3 days. That was all the time he had left. 3 days until his life changed forever. The shuttle felt cold. Taehyun sat alone in the passenger section, his bag on the seat next to him. Through the window, he watched Earth get smaller and smaller, until it looked like a blue marble. Then it disappeared completely as the shuttle jumped into faster-than-light travel. The journey to Outpost Vega 7 took 6 hours. Taehyun spent every minute reading files on his tablet. He had downloaded everything the Coalition database had about Kethrans. Most of it was not helpful. Most of it just made him more scared. Kethrans had 3 castes: workers, thinkers, and warriors. The warrior caste was the most honored. Sentinels were the elite warriors. They were bigger, stronger, and meaner than regular Kethran soldiers. A sentinel could take on 20 enemies alone and win. Their armor was part of their body. Their weapons were extensions of their arms. They did not sleep much. They did not eat much. They just trained and fought and killed. The files showed partnership statistics. Out of 50 attempts to pair Kethrans with other species, 48 failed in the first month. The 2 that lasted longer both ended with the non-Kethran partner requesting immediate medical evacuation. One file had a note from a Velian doctor. Patient showed signs of severe psychological trauma. Would not speak about the experience. Recommended permanent grounding from space duty. Taehyun closed the tablet. His hands were shaking. He put them in his lap and took deep breaths, like his mother taught him when he was anxious as a child. "You can do this," he whispered to himself. "You can do this." The shuttle pilot, a bored-looking human named Captain Han, announced over the speaker, "Approaching Outpost Vega 7. Prepare for docking." The outpost was huge. It floated in space like a metal city. Hundreds of ships docked on its outer rings. Lights blinked in patterns that Taehyun did not understand. This was a coalition military station. It protected the border between safe space and something called the Rift, which was where criminals and dangerous things lived. When the shuttle docked, Captain Han walked back to the passenger section. He looked at Taehyun with a strange expression. Pity, maybe. Or respect. It was hard to tell. "Good luck, kid," Captain Han said. "You are braver than me. I would have run away." "I thought about it," Taehyun admitted. "But you did not. That says something." 2 guards met Taehyun at the airlock. They were both aliens. One looked like a giant crab. The other looked like a tree with legs. Both carried large weapons. Both looked nervous. "Taehyun Kim?" the crab guard asked. "Yes. Follow us. We will take you to the meeting chamber. Your partner is already there." They walked through long metal corridors. Other beings moved past them, aliens of all shapes and sizes. Some stopped and stared at Taehyun. Word had spread fast. Everyone knew about the human who got matched with a Kethran Sentinel. The tree guard leaned down and whispered, "Do not make sudden movements. Do not raise your voice. Kethrans see those things as challenges. If you challenge a Sentinel, it will not end well for you." "I understand," Taehyun said. They reached a large door made of reinforced metal. Warning signs covered it in multiple languages. "Danger. Authorized personnel only. Kethran warrior inside." The crab guard pressed a button. The door opened slowly. The chamber was huge and mostly empty. One wall was made of transparent material, like glass but stronger. Behind that wall stood Revan. Taehyun stopped walking. His breath caught in his throat. The files and videos had not prepared him for the reality. Revan was enormous, nearly 3 meters tall. The Sentinel's exoskeleton was pure black and seemed to absorb light. 4 arms hung at its sides, each one thick with muscle and ending in claws that could easily tear through metal. The Sentinel's head was angular and sharp, with mandibles that clicked constantly. Those amber eyes glowed like fire. Revan was looking directly at him. For a long moment, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The guards stayed near the door, ready to run. Then Revan moved. 1 step forward. The floor shook slightly. The clicking sounds got louder. Taehyun's translator earpiece struggled to keep up. "You are the human." Revan's voice came through the translator. It sounded like rocks grinding together. Deep and harsh. "You are the one assigned to me." Taehyun swallowed hard. Mrs. Park's words echoed in his mind. "Do not show fear. Do not show weakness." He took a step closer to the transparent barrier. "Yes. My name is Taehyun Kim." More clicking. The translator worked frantically. "I did not request a partner. I do not need a partner. I have destroyed entire battalions. I have eliminated threats across 40 star systems. I have never failed a mission. Why would I need a small, weak human?" The guards tensed. The crab guard put a hand on his weapon. But Taehyun felt something unexpected. Not just fear. Also anger. He had spent 3 days being terrified. 3 days reading about how worthless he would be. 3 days listening to people say he was going to fail or die or both. "I did not ask for this either," Taehyun said, keeping his voice steady. I did not wake up one day and think, I want to be paired with the scariest warrior in the galaxy. But here I am. And the coalition law says we have 3 years together. 3 years. So we have 2 choices. Revan tilted its massive head. The clicking changed pitch. Choices? Yes. We can spend 3 years hating each other and making everything miserable. Or we can try to make this work. I know I am small. I know I am weak compared to you. But I am not stupid. And I do not quit. The chamber was silent except for the clicking sounds from Revan's mandibles. The Sentinel's 4 arms moved in complex patterns. The translator could not keep up with the rapid clicking. Then Revan did something that shocked everyone in the room. The Sentinel laughed. It was not a nice laugh. It sounded like metal scraping metal. But it was definitely a laugh. Humans. Revan clicked slowly so the translator could work. Your species has been in space for barely 5 years. You know nothing about the galaxy. You have no great warriors. No impressive technology. No feared military. And yet you stand before a Kethran Sentinel and speak like an equal. You are either incredibly brave or incredibly foolish. Taehyun thought about his answer carefully. Then he said, probably both. But I am also stubborn. And I am good at understanding things. Even complicated, dangerous things. Revan stared at him for what felt like forever. Those burning amber eyes looked him up and down, studying every detail. Taehyun forced himself not to look away. Not to step back. Not to show the fear that was screaming inside his chest. Finally, the clicking sounds changed to something softer. The translator said, interesting. The transparent barrier lowered into the floor. Now nothing stood between Taehyun and the Sentinel except 5 meters of empty space. Revan's 4 arms spread wide. The translator identified it as a gesture of acceptance, or maybe challenge. It was hard to tell. Very well, human Taehyun. Our assignment is deep space patrol along the Rift border. It is the most dangerous region of Coalition space. Raiders attack ships, pirates steal cargo. Sometimes worse things come through, things that make raiders look like children playing with toys. Most partners with a Kethran Sentinel do not survive their first month. Many request extraction after the first week. The Sentinel took a step closer. Then another. Now they were only 2 meters apart. Taehyun could feel the heat radiating from Revan's armored body. Could hear the clicking sounds without the translator. I will not make this easy for you, Revan continued. I will train you as I would train a Kethran recruit. Most humans would break in 3 days. We shall see what you are made of. We shall see if you are brave, foolish, or simply dead. Taehyun met those burning eyes and did not blink. I am ready. No. Revan clicked. You are not ready. But perhaps you can learn to be ready. That is more than I expected. The Sentinel turned and walked toward another door at the far end of the chamber. Come, I will show you our ship. Your quarters are small because I did not think you would last long enough to need comfortable space. Tomorrow, training begins at dawn. Sleep well tonight, human. It may be the last good sleep you have for a very long time. Taehyun picked up his bag and followed the massive warrior. Behind him, he heard the guards whispering. He is dead. No bet. Definitely dead. But Taehyun did not feel dead. He felt alive. More alive than he had felt in years. Yes. He was scared. Yes, this was going to be horrible. But he was here. He had looked a Kethran Sentinel in the eyes and had not run away. That was something. Maybe it was enough. Or maybe he really was just incredibly foolish. The first week was torture. Pure torture. Revan woke Taehyun every morning at what the Sentinel called dawn. Even though they were in space and there was no sun. The time was always different. Sometimes 4 in the morning, sometimes 3. Once at 2, the Sentinel said real warriors needed to wake at any moment and be ready to fight. Training started immediately. Physical training first. Revan made him run on a treadmill while the gravity increased. Normal Earth gravity was easy. 1.5 was hard. 2 times, Earth gravity made his legs feel like stones. At 2.5, He collapsed. Again, Revan clicked. Taehyun got up. He collapsed after 30 seconds. Again. He got up. 20 seconds this time. Again. By the 10th time, Taehyun could barely move. His vision blurred. His chest hurt. Everything hurt. But he got up. Revan watched with those burning amber eyes. The clicking sounds were quiet. Thoughtful. Finally, the Sentinel lowered the gravity back to normal. You are weak, Revan stated. But you do not give up. That is something. The second week was worse. Combat training. Revan gave him a training weapon, a long staff made of some alien metal. The Sentinel used one arm. Just one, and still, Taehyun could not land a single hit. Revan moved too fast. Too strong. Too skilled. After the 15th time Revan knocked him down, Taehyun stayed on the floor. His body was covered in bruises. His arms shook. His pride was completely gone. I cannot do this, he said quietly. I cannot fight like you. I will never be able to fight like you. Revan stood over him, all four arms crossed. Correct. You will never be Kethrin. But you are not trying to be Kethrin. You are trying to be useful. Those are different things. How am I useful if I cannot fight? I did not say you cannot fight. I said you cannot fight like me. Find your own way. The third week, something changed. Revan assigned him to repair work on the ship's exterior. The hull had damage from a previous mission. Taehyun had to put on a spacesuit and use tools to fix the metal plates while floating in space. It was dangerous work. One wrong move and he would drift away forever. But Taehyun had studied engineering at the academy. He understood how things worked. He looked at the damaged hull and saw that the standard repair method was slow and wasteful. He tried something different, a technique his professor had taught him. It used less material but was stronger. He finished the repair in half the time Revan had estimated. When he came back inside, the Sentinel examined his work carefully. All four arms moved over the hull, testing the strength. Acceptable, Revan clicked. Then, after a pause, better than acceptable, efficient. You think differently than Kethrin's. Perhaps that is not a weakness. The fourth week. Revan finally took him on patrol. Their ship was small but powerful. 2 seats in the cockpit. Weapons, systems, sensors. Everything was designed for Kethrin hands, so the controls were strange for Taehyun. They flew along the edge of the rift, scanning for illegal activity. Space looked empty, but Revan explained that appearances meant nothing. Raiders hid in asteroid fields. Pirates disguised their ships as debris. Criminals waited for prey. Taehyun studied the sensor readings. He had learned to read Kethrin displays during his late-night studying sessions. The patterns on the screen looked random at first. But then he noticed something, a heat signature that did not match any known ship type. There, he pointed. That does not look right. Revan leaned closer, checking the sensors with 2 eyes, while the other 2 eyes watched the space ahead. You are correct. That is a disguised raider ship. Good catch, human. They did not engage. Not yet. Revan was teaching him how to patrol, not how to fight. But Taehyun felt proud. He had seen something the sensors almost missed. On the way back to the outpost, Revan spoke more than usual. You are adapting. Most species try to become Kethrin when they train with us. They try to match our strength, our speed, our combat style. They always fail, but you are not trying to become me. You are trying to become better at being you. That is wise. I could never be you, Taehyun said honestly. So I have to be something else. Correct. The 6th week brought the real test. They received a distress call during routine patrol. A coalition medical transport was under attack. 6 raider ships surrounded it. The transport had no weapons, just doctors and medical supplies. The raiders wanted the supplies. Specifically, they wanted expensive drugs that could be sold for huge profits. Revan pulled up the tactical display. 6 enemy ships. 1 friendly ship. 1 coalition patrol ship theirs. Standard protocol was clear. Call for backup. Maintain distance. Wait for reinforcements. But Revan was Kethrin. The clicking sounds came fast and aggressive. The translator worked hard to keep up. "We engage," the Sentinel declared. "Medical personnel are in danger. We do not wait." Taehyun's heart pounded. 6 ships against 1. They would be destroyed. But then he remembered something. All those late nights studying. Not just Kethrin files, but human military history. Earth had fought many wars before going to space. Humans were not the strongest, not the fastest. But humans were tricky. Humans used deception. Humans turned weaknesses into advantages. "Wait," Taehyun said quickly. "I have an idea. But you have to trust me." Revan's 4 arms froze over the weapons controls. The Sentinel turned all eyes toward him. "Trust must be earned. We have not earned it yet. Then let me earn it now. Give me 5 minutes to explain. If you do not like my plan, we do it your way." The clicking was loud. Thinking sounds, Taehyun had learned. Finally, Revan gestured with one arm. The translator said, "Speak." Taehyun pulled up the sensor data and started talking fast. "The rift has unstable radiation pockets. They mess with sensors. If we fly through them, we can make fake sensor ghosts. The raiders will think there are 3 coalition ships instead of 1. Combined with your weapon's accuracy, we can attack from multiple angles. They will panic because they cannot tell what is real." He showed Revan the calculations. The flight path. The timing. It would be dangerous. They would take some damage. But it might work. "This is deception," Revan clicked slowly. "Kethrin's fight with honor. Direct combat. Strength against strength. And 6 ships against 1 is suicide. I know Kethrin's value honor. But is it honorable to let innocent people die when you could save them?" Revan was quiet for a long moment. Then the Sentinel's mandibles spread in what might have been a smile. "You argue like a Kethrin philosopher. Uncomfortable questions. Forcing me to think differently. Very well. We try your plan. But if it fails, we die with honor. If it fails, we just die," Taehyun muttered. "But okay." They executed the plan. Taehyun flew the ship into the radiation pockets, his hands shaking on the controls. Revan handled weapons and power distribution. The sensor ghosts appeared on the raiders' displays, just as Taehyun predicted. 3 coalition ships where there was only 1. The raiders scattered, confused. Revan used that confusion. The Sentinel was a perfect shot. Never missed. Each blast from their weapons disabled a raider ship. Not destroyed, coalition law said to use minimum necessary force, but disabled. 2 raiders fled immediately. 3 more tried to regroup and figure out which target was real. Revan hit them hard, targeting engines and weapon systems. The last raider finally understood the trick and tried to attack their real ship. That was when Taehyun did something crazy. He flew directly at the raider ship, then pulled up at the last second. The raider tried to follow and flew straight into a radiation pocket. Their systems went haywire. Revan disabled them before they could recover. 6 raider ships, all disabled. Medical transport safe. 0 casualties. They escorted the medical transport back towards safe space. Then they limped back to the outpost. Their ship had taken damage from radiation exposure. Nothing critical, but enough to need repairs. In the docking bay, Revan turned to face Taehyun. All 4 arms moved into a specific pattern. Taehyun's translator identified it as the Kethrin salute of equals. Not superior to inferior. Not teacher to student. Equals. You fight with your mind, what I fight with my body. Revan clicked carefully. Alone, I am strong. Alone, you are clever. Together, we are more than either of us alone. The algorithm was not wrong. It saw what I could not see. The Sentinel paused, then added something that shocked Taehyun completely. Thank you, partner. Partner. Not human. Not Taehyun. Partner. Taehyun felt tears in his eyes but blinked them away. You are welcome, partner. As they walked through the outpost corridors toward their quarters, Other beings stopped and stared. News of the rescue had already spread. A human and a Kethran working together successfully, using combined tactics, saving lives. It was unprecedented. In his small quarters, Taehyun collapsed on his bed. His body hurt. His mind was exhausted. But he felt something he had not felt in weeks. Hope. Maybe they really could do this. Maybe the next 2 years and 10 months would not be torture. Maybe they could actually become a real team. Or maybe today was just luck. Tomorrow would tell him which one was true. News traveled fast in the coalition. Within 3 days, every outpost from Earth to the edge of civilized space had heard the story. A human and a Kethran Sentinel working together. Not just surviving, but succeeding. Saving lives, using tactics that neither species would have thought of alone. Taehyun received messages from Earth. From Woojin, who was happily trading goods with his Quellan partner, but admitted it was boring compared to what you are doing. From Haejin, who said her research station was studying their tactics. Even from Ambassador Nari Choi, the highest-ranking human in the coalition government, congratulating him on making humanity proud. But not all attention was good attention. 6 weeks after the medical transport rescue, Revan called Taehyun to the briefing room. The Sentinel's clicking sounds were different. Sharper. Worried. Maybe. We have a new assignment, Revan said. Reports of weapons trafficking near Outpost Vega 7. We are to investigate and report findings. That sounds routine, Taehyun said. Nothing is routine in the rift. Revan pulled up a star chart. These coordinates are too close to the outpost. Too convenient. And the timing is suspicious. 6 weeks since our rescue mission. This could be coincidence. Or it could be a trap. A trap for us specifically? We have made enemies. The raiders we stopped. They work for someone. Someone powerful. Someone who does not like coalition patrol ships. Disrupting their business. Taehyun studied the coordinates. Should we request backup? Backup is 3 hours away. By then, traffickers could be gone. And if it is a trap, 3 hours is too long to wait. We must check ourselves. They departed 2 hours later. Their ship, now repaired and upgraded with better shields, jumped toward the coordinates. The flight took 40 minutes. The entire time, Taehyun watched the sensors. Something felt wrong. The space was too quiet, too empty. Revan, I have a bad feeling about this. I also feel it. The Sentinel clicked. Keep weapons ready. I will handle scanning. They dropped out of hyperspace at the coordinates. For 3 seconds, the sensors showed nothing. Empty space. Then everything went wrong at once. 12 ships decloaked around them. Not raider ships. Military-grade mercenary vessels. Professional killers. They formed a perfect sphere around Taehyun and Revan's ship. The communication system crackled. A voice spoke in Galactic Common. The language all species understood. Coalition ship. This is Captain Mal of the Crimson Fleet. You have interfered with operations that do not concern you. The Hive Master sends his regards. You will be eliminated as an example. The Hive Master, Revan growled. The clicking sounds turned aggressive. He is the crime lord who controls half the illegal activity in the rift. We embarrassed his raiders. Now he wants revenge. Taehyun's mouth went dry. 12 against 1. And these were not raiders. These were trained mercenaries with top-level equipment. We are jammed, Revan reported. Cannot call for backup. Cannot send distress signals. And they will fire in approximately 20 seconds. Taehyun's mind raced. 20 seconds. 12 ships. Military-grade weapons. They could not outrun them. They could not outfight them. The mercenaries had studied coalition tactics. They knew how Kethran Sentinels fought. They had planned this perfectly. 15 seconds. They know your combat patterns, Taehyun said urgently. They have counters for every Kethran tactic. Correct. They have studied me. My previous battles. My methods. I am predictable. 10 seconds. And suddenly, Taehyun understood. Predictability was the problem. Kethrans were perfect warriors. They followed perfect combat doctrines, which meant enemies could predict them. But humans were not perfect. Humans did crazy things. Humans improvised. Then we do not use Kethran tactics, Taehyun said. No standard combat. No doctrine. We do things that make no sense, things they cannot predict. 5 seconds. Revan's 4 eyes turned toward him. Explain quickly. I have ideas. Crazy ideas. But you have to trust me and execute them instantly. No hesitation. 2 seconds. I trust you, partner. 1 second. Full power to rear shields. Reverse thrust at maximum. Ram the ship directly behind us. Taehyun shouted. Every military instinct said ramming was stupid. Ships were fragile. Ramming meant mutual destruction. But Revan did it anyway. Full power. Reverse thrust. Their ships slammed into the mercenary vessel behind them. The mercenary shields buckled. Their ship spun away, damaged. The perfect sphere formation broke. Vent atmosphere from starboard side. Use it for lateral thrust. Taehyun yelled. Insane. Wasting breathable air for thrust. But Revan did it. The ship jerked sideways, dodging 3 incoming missiles that collided with each other. Cut engines completely. Drift like debris. The ship went dark. Momentum carried them forward. The mercenaries lost target lock. They were scanning for active engines. Not dead ships drifting. For 8 seconds, they drifted in darkness. Taehyun counted. Then, full power, all weapons on the closest target. Now, their ship blazed to life. Weapons fired. The closest mercenary ship took heavy damage before they could react. 2 more ships collided, trying to reorient toward the sudden attack. For the next hour, it was pure chaos. Taehyun shouted crazy tactics. Ram this ship. Vent that system. Cut power. Boost power. Fly in patterns that made no mathematical sense. Use their own destroyed pieces as weapons by flying through debris fields and letting momentum do the work. Revan executed everything instantly. The Sentinel's perfect precision turned insane ideas into devastating reality. 4 arms worked controls faster than Taehyun could think. Weapons fired with accuracy that seemed impossible. Every crazy maneuver worked because Revan made it work. The mercenaries could not adapt. They had studied Kethran tactics. They had counters for everything in the military doctrine, but they had no counters for a human making things up and a Kethran following without hesitation. 4 mercenary ships destroyed. 8 fled. The last one tried to surrender. We yield. Captain Mal's voice came through the communication system. Please. We were just following orders. Revan's clicking was sharp and angry, but Taehyun put a hand on the Sentinel's arm. Let them go. They will report back to the Hive Master. They will tell him what happened here. Why would we want that? Because now he will know. Humans and Kethrans working together are unpredictable. Dangerous. Maybe he will think twice before attacking coalition ships again. Revan considered this, then nodded. Wise. Very well. Release them. The mercenary ship limped away into hyperspace. Shortly after, the jamming cleared. Their distress signal finally got through. Backup arrived 90 minutes later to find them alive, victorious, and surrounded by debris. Commander Ilix, the Drexian officer in charge of the sector, boarded their ship personally. He looked at the damage, at the data logs showing the battle, at Taehyun and Revan standing together in the cockpit. Explain how you survived, Ilix demanded. We did what they did not expect, Taehyun said simply. That is not an explanation. Revan stepped forward. All 4 arms spread in a formal gesture. With respect, Commander. It is the only explanation. My partner thinks in ways I cannot. I execute in ways he cannot. Together, we are unpredictable. Our enemies could not counter what they could not predict. Ilix stared at them for a long moment. Then he made a strange sound. Laughter. The Drexian was laughing. Unpredictable. Yes, that is exactly what you are. The Galactic Coordinator will want a full report. And I suspect the Coalition Command will be very interested in your methods. After Ilix left, Taehyun and Revan were alone in the cockpit. The silence stretched between them. "I owe you my life," Revan said finally. "3 times today, your tactics saved us. I would have fought honorably and died honorably. You made me fight without honor and live dishonorably." "That was not without honor," Taehyun said. "That was survival. And there is honor in protecting each other." Revan's clicking changed to the sound Taehyun now recognized as deep thoughtfulness. "When I first met you, I thought the algorithm made a mistake. I am Kethrin. You are human. We are opposites. How could opposites work together? And now? Now I understand. Opposites do not fight against each other. Opposites complete each other. I am the weapon. You are the mind. Together, we are whole." The Sentinel placed one large hand on Taehyun's shoulder. The claws could have torn through metal, but the touch was gentle. "You are the best partner I could have been given. I am honored to serve with you." Taehyun felt his eyes water. He blinked rapidly. "I am honored too, partner." Outside the ship, stars shimmered in the darkness. Somewhere out there, the Hive Master was hearing reports of his failed ambush. Somewhere out there, the Coalition was learning about new tactics. Somewhere out there, other humans and other aliens were watching and wondering. But inside the cockpit, 2 beings from different worlds stood together. Not because they were similar, because they were different. And somehow, that difference made them unstoppable. The galaxy was learning a new lesson. Do not underestimate humans, and never underestimate what humans and other species can do when they truly work together. The final year of their assignment passed differently than the first 2. Word had spread across the entire Galactic Coalition. The impossible partnership. The human and the Kethrin. The team that should have failed but instead had become legendary. Other species started requesting human partners. The Vortani scientists wanted human creativity for their research. The Drexian military wanted human tactical thinking. Even the proud Pelixians, who had always kept to themselves, opened their doors to human cooperation. Back on Earth, the Integration Center could not keep up with applications. 50,000 humans applied in 1 month. They all asked for challenging assignments. Not easy ones. Not safe ones. Challenging ones. The young people of Earth had watched Taehyun's journey and decided they wanted the same thing. They wanted to prove that humanity belonged in the stars. Ambassador Nari Choi sent a personal message to Taehyun. He read it while floating in the observation deck of Outpost Vega 7. "Watching the stars through the massive window, you changed what it means to be human in the galaxy. Before you, we were the new species. The weak ones. The ones who needed protection. Now, every species knows that humans bring something valuable. Not strength, not technology, but creativity, adaptability, and the refusal to give up. Thank you for showing the galaxy who we really are." Taehyun forwarded the message to Revan. The Sentinel read it with all 4 eyes, clicking thoughtfully. "Humans are strange," Revan said. "One human succeeds, and suddenly all humans believe they can succeed. Kethrins do not work this way. We know our capabilities. We do not exceed them. Maybe that is why you need us," Taehyun replied. "Humans do not know our limits until we hit them. And sometimes, we just ignore the limits and do it anyway." Taehyun, foolish. Maybe, but it works. During those final months, something changed in Revan too. The Sentinel had returned to the Kethrin homeworld twice for mandatory cultural ceremonies. Each time, Revan came back different. Quieter. More thoughtful. After the second trip, Revan called Taehyun to the briefing room. "I spoke with the Sentinel Council," Revan said. "I gave my report on our partnership. They did not believe me at first. A Kethrin working equally with a non-Kethrin? Impossible. Kethrins are superior. We do not need others." What changed their minds? I showed them our battle records, our success rate, our survival rate, our mission completion rate. The numbers do not lie. Together, we have accomplished what I could not accomplish alone. The Council is now debating Whether to allow more Kethran alien partnerships. Taehyun whistled softly. That would be huge. Kethrans have worked alone for thousands of years. Yes. And perhaps that is our weakness. We are so focused on individual strength that we forget the strength of cooperation. You taught me this, partner. Your species taught me this. On the final day of their mandatory 3-year assignment, they received official notification from the Galactic Coordinator Kolvar. Their partnership was complete. They were free to return to their homeworlds. The obligation was fulfilled. Taehyun stood in the observation deck, the notification displayed on his tablet. 3 years. It felt like forever, and no time at all. He thought about returning to Earth. Seeing his family, his friends. Woojin had returned 6 months ago, full of stories about trading adventures. Hyjin had accepted a permanent research position with the Vortani, but the thought of leaving felt wrong. Empty. Revan found him there, staring at the stars. You are troubled, the Sentinel observed. The assignment is over. I should be happy. I survived. Most people thought I would die in the first week. Monker, but you are not happy. No. Taehyun turned to face his partner. I am not happy. Taehyun. Revan's forearms moved in a complex pattern. Not a salute. Not a gesture of combat. Something else. Something that the translator struggled to interpret. Finally, it settled on friendship gesture. For 3 years I have had a partner, Revan said slowly. Before you, I worked alone. I thought alone. Kethrans believe solo operation is the purest form of strength. But now I know differently. Working with you has made me stronger. Not weaker. Smarter. Not more limited. I do not want to return to working alone. I do not want you to work alone either. Taehyun admitted. Then we will not. Revan pulled up a holographic display. Coalition law says our mandatory assignment is complete. It does not say we cannot choose to continue. I have filed a request for permanent partnership. We would operate independently, not under sector command. We would choose our missions. Choose our path. Taehyun's heart raced. You want to keep working together? I want to keep working with you, specifically. You are not just any human. You are my partner. We have fought together. Bled together. Nearly died together many times. I trust you with my life. That is not something Kethrans give lightly. I trust you too, Taehyun said. More than anyone else in the galaxy. Then you accept? Yes, absolutely yes. Revan's clicking changed to something Taehyun had only heard a few times. Joy. Pure joy. Excellent. We will be the first human Kethran independent team in Coalition history. There is much work to do. The Rift sector still has threats. The Hive Master is still out there, and now that we are famous, everyone will want to hire us or destroy us. Sounds exciting. Sounds dangerous. Same thing. They reported their decision to Commander Ilix, who immediately tried to recruit them for permanent sector duty. The Coalition needs teams like you. Official positions. Regular pay. Benefits. We appreciate the offer, Taehyun said politely. But we work better independently. Ilix looked disappointed but not surprised. Then go. Make the galaxy safer. And stay alive. You two are too valuable to lose. News of their continued partnership reached Earth within hours. Ambassador Choi sent another message. You are making history. The first long-term human-alien partnership based on choice, not obligation. Others will follow your example. Come visit Earth when you can. You are a hero here. But the message that made Taehyun cry came from someone unexpected. His old teacher, Mrs. Park, the one who had given him advice before meeting Revan. I knew you could do it. You were always the student who never gave up. No matter how hard things got, you kept trying. You took that stubbornness to the stars. And now look at you. The galaxy is better because you refuse to accept failure. Your parents are proud. Your teachers are proud. All of Earth is proud. But most importantly, I hope you are proud of yourself. You earned every bit of your success. Tae-hyun showed the message to Revan. The Sentinel read it carefully. Your teacher was wise. You are stubborn, frustratingly stubborn sometimes. But that stubbornness saved our lives many times. Humans call it determination. Kethrans call it warrior spirit. It is the same thing. What about you? Tae-hyun asked. Are you proud of yourself? Revan was quiet for a long moment. Then, I was taught that pride comes from individual achievement, from defeating enemies alone, from being strong without help. But working with you taught me something different. True pride comes from achieving together what neither could achieve alone. So yes, I am proud. Proud of us. Their first independent mission came 3 days later. A colony on the edge of the rift reported strange energy readings. Possible alien technology. Possible danger. The coalition asked if they were interested in investigating. Should we accept? Tae-hyun asked, studying the mission details. Is it dangerous? Revan asked. Very. Is it important? Could be. Then we accept. They departed Outpost Vega 7 inches, their ship, newly upgraded and repaired. As they jumped to hyperspace, Tae-hyun pulled up a photo on his tablet. It was from 3 years ago, his first day at the integration center. He looked so young in the photo. So scared. In the reflection of the screen, he could see himself now. Older. Scarred. Confident. Next to him, Revan piloted the ship with the precision only a Kethran could achieve. 3 years ago, everyone had said he would fail. Everyone had said the partnership was impossible. Everyone had said a human could not work with a Kethran Sentinel. Everyone had been wrong. Not because humans were stronger than they thought, not because Kethrans were weaker than they thought, but because, together, they were something new. Something the galaxy had never seen before. Something that changed the rules. What are you thinking about? Revan asked. How everyone thought I was going to die. You nearly did, many times. But I did not. We did not. Correct. We survived. We adapted. We became partners in the truest sense. And now the galaxy knows that impossible is just a word. Not a fact. Tae-hyun smiled. Through the cockpit window, stars streaked past as they traveled faster than light. Somewhere ahead, a new mission waited. New dangers. New challenges. New opportunities to prove that humans and aliens could accomplish amazing things together. Others had gotten easy matches, safe assignments, comfortable partnerships, but Tae-hyun had gotten the deadly alien Sentinel. And somehow, against all odds, it had become the best thing that ever happened to him. Ready for the next adventure, partner? Revan asked. Always, Tae-hyun replied. Always. Their ship jumped through space toward the unknown. Behind them, they left a galaxy that had learned an important lesson. Humans were not the strongest species, not the smartest, not the most advanced, but humans brought something equally valuable. The willingness to try the impossible, the creativity to find new solutions, the determination to never, ever give up. And when that human spirit combined with the strength and skill of other species, something magical happened. Something that changed everything. The algorithm had known all along. It had paired a small, weak human with the galaxy's most feared warrior. Not as a mistake, as an opportunity, a chance to prove that the greatest strength comes not from being similar, but from being different and choosing to work together anyway. 3 years ago, Tae-hyun had been terrified. Now, he was exactly where he belonged, flying through space with his partner, his friend, his equal. The galaxy was big and dangerous and full of challenges, but Tae-hyun was not afraid anymore, because he was not alone. He had Revan. And Revan had him. And together, they would show the galaxy what true partnership could accomplish. The adventure was just beginning.